Welcome back. You're here. You're trying to get it going. This is Andrew James Gomez, AJG, ready to give you another hint of some wisdom, hopefully some like-minded thoughts, and that way get you thinking, get your brain working, and get you into a clear path to success. And success is going to be defined differently for all of us. However, my main focus is to support you as well as keep myself accountable by making these videos. So welcome back. You've seen some of my previous videos. We are getting into a new topic, something that holds near and dear to my heart, and that's just building a business. What are you doing to start the very beginning of your business? And what's the mindset you got to have? What are the things that you need to expect? The realities that some people don't really tell you about. Coming from a small business owner as well as a medium-sized business owner, I own a few businesses here throughout Texas, including a real estate firm for multifamily property, as well as a trucking company, a truck repair shop, and some other third-party logistics companies, as well as some software in logistics. So we are getting into it here to start. It did not start that way where you have a million different little businesses, but when you get the ball rolling and once you start to realize you can solve some problems, it doesn't just end with one business, you know? So as we're going into these steps, I want you to start thinking about what you're passionate about. As you're here, you're probably searching, I want to start a business. I want to be creative. I want to solve this problem. I see this niche. I see this need, and I want to fill it, and I want to be rewarded by it. I want to actually start working for myself. And I want to prepare you for some of the mental realities that come with building a business. And this is by no means to scare you off. My goal is to create a form of resilience in you, for you to start focusing on not about just getting your money and, being able to call something your own, but be able to stay resilient when things are hard and be able to build upon a foundation that's going to last for years to come, or whenever you sell the company. I don't know. So starting off, mental realities. What are the mental realities of building a business? Let me tell you. Starting off building my businesses, I started off at 17. Right when I turned 18, I bought my first 2 trucks, and then I was able to work my way up into the supply chain that was Amazon back then. I finished high school. I was 2 years into my college career, and I was dead set on figuring something out and not having somebody to tell me put my phone away. So you have to be prepared for those highs and the lows. In a high asset, high cost environment, I did not know that I was signing my life away on that dotted line. Now, you may not have something as high cost to start, or maybe you do. But what you need to prepare yourself for is that you're changing your lifestyle forever to basically invest in this child that you have moving forward in order to sustain yourself, and possibly your family. So that's a big reality that you have to have when really taking that step. And that's what shies a lot of people away. However, there are going to be those nuggets of reality where you're like, wow, I don't have to share this with anyone. I'm winning, and whenever I do find a little niche where it's working for me, I'm fulfilling a need, I'm being able to pour into people, encourage people with my service or my product, then you're going to see that not really the Instagram life, but the life of being able to support yourself and your family becomes a reality. So that is few and far between when it comes to small businesses, right? You run in through self-doubt. You're going to run in through other possible sacrifices that you're going to make. I just want to highlight those things now and tell you that, one, that's a reality, right? It's harder and harder in the United States to build a business and create a successful company. However, it is not impossible. And so if you're here, you're trying to figure out how to gain those small tips to maintain focus and to maintain effectiveness. That's going to be your focus. It's not going to be how can I stay motivated. You're not going to be motivated. It's not going to be how can I not miss Christmas. Sometimes you will miss Christmas, right? You're the only person that's going to be there telling you to continue to call that next customer, to fulfill that next order, you name it. And so you have to start focusing on the reality that the sacrifices are going to come. So on the sacrifice piece, I'll give you an example. Whenever I was just starting out and I was still just dispatching at the same time of my first 2 units, and of course I was dispatching other trucks too at the time, I was working from 8 p.m. to 6 a.m. As well. I had my best friend helping with the dispatch as well during the day shift, while I had some other assistants, and I was living it out of my house. I mean, I'm talking, I was living the COVID life before COVID life was real. And that was something that you have to you have to fight against. I mean, you have to see that all your peers are going out having a good time, especially if you're younger. They're out in college having parties. Back then, that's where everybody was at while I was working. And man, it is a strain on your mental. You feel like you're not going anywhere. You feel like you're not preparing yourself. You feel like you're wasting time. You know, there's a lot of possibilities, and that basically pulls you down and drags you down into the abyss of, this is not where I was supposed to be. I'm not good enough, and my business is inevitably going to fail. There's so many things that I have to worry about that nobody else is helping me with. All of these things are going to stack up on you. So I don't mean to scare you, but that is the reality, right? However, I will give you this silver lining when it comes to that. If you are finding a great business plan and you're able to execute it accordingly, and you also are a person who is fed up with trying to get out of the rat race, right? And you're seriously going back on these feelings of, man, I wish I could start something new. Man, I wish I could do something on my own. And you're finally out of the rat race. You're finally doing it in a small business. You're going to compartmentalize some of those emotions of, at least I am not still working for somebody. I need to figure this out, right? That's the most common one. However, I'm going to add something there to you. Motivation is like brushing your teeth, right? I was listening to Les Brown. I was listening to Jim Rohn daily or nightly. I was listening to Earl Thomas, E.T. You know, I was listening to whatever kept my fire going, because I said, this is not going to be for nothing. And I didn't pay myself for a long period of that time. However, I realized that this is going to mean something because I'm going to make it mean something. And you have to have that mentality consistently throughout your tenure. It's not going to be there. It's not going to be all the way on the surface, but it's always got to be inside. It's always got to be in the heart for you. And so that's just the reality that I'm going to tell you. I think that most successful business owners that I've spoken with, and me, myself, in my journey, I would say that you're going to have that self-doubt, and you're going to be sad and mad. Your family will be mad. Your significant others will be mad about you having to make those certain sacrifices. But at the end of the day, it's about what you're trying to do, you know, the goal you're trying to accomplish. And so I want to invigorate you and say, you're taking those first steps, or if you're in it right now as a small business owner, realize that resilience needs to be made in tough times. Me and my buddies who has started the companies, or who helped me start my company, we still talk about those times to this day, where I was dispatching inside of one of the huge buildings, those office buildings that we rent out a room for, and we were doing it at 7 p.m. on a Saturday night, and there was no AC because they turn off the AC to save money. Those are the type of things that you're just like, God, why am I here, right? It's almost hysterical at this point when I think about it looking back. However, I can only do that because of where I am right now and what I've put myself through and what I can take. Because now I know my resilience to things, my resilience to stress, my resilience to anxiety, my resilience for responsibility is at an all-time high. And it would never have been here unless I had these trials. So I hope that inevitably, one, we're focused, you're understanding the reality, maintaining focus. As a side note, going into the main piece of the second level here, as we get into mental realities, what helped me the most is maintaining focus and figuring out how I can maintain the most focus in my business. What are my distractions? Get them out. What are the things stopping me from my goals? Get them out. What kind of environment am I in? Get myself out. You know, I got to set those clear short and long-term goals. And I wanted to become the person who was an as many as it takes type of guy. You know, I want to be the person that says, how many books do I got to read in order to understand and set this goal and complete this goal, as many as it takes? How many push-ups do I got to do to get to be as strong as I want to be? As many as it takes. How many miles do I got to run? As many as it takes. If you had that type of mentality and make it a part of your identity, being a business leader coincides with this so much. And you're going to see those drastic improvements in leadership, decision-making, assertiveness, and aggressiveness, that it helps you get to your goals faster and not have to delay gratification as much, because your philosophy is you're fighting that inner Sally that you have, and you're able to focus on the distractions, understand that they're distractions, and get back to your goal. The guys that are prioritizing tasks and able to put their brain into a to-do list or also into their journal, they're the ones that are winning. They're the ones that are going back to it. You know, they're able to put everything down for a second, go to my family, come back, put it back down and open that book and let's get going again. Lastly, I do want to get into just maintaining a healthy routine and defining what that healthy routine is. I will say it's not just eating right, it's not just sleeping right. It's going to be understanding that the environment that you put, the people that you put yourself around are going to are going to keep you in a spot where you're going to be in a worker's mentality, or they're going to put you in a spot where you're going to be in a leadership mentality. You got to be self-aware, as you've seen in my previous videos, to understand the difference. Building into this, we're going into the last piece, which is the execution of understanding where I'm at, realizing these things, these major goals in business are not some small hill. They are Mount Everest. And then realizing what I have to do, who I have to be to become successful and become the best climber I can. And then lastly, it gets into building that resilience. Understanding that the resilience comes from mindfulness. The resilience comes from stress management. The resilience comes from going through the furnace and being calm in those areas. I hope you got as much as I did from this talk just at the beginning. I mean every single word, because I went through every single one of these things. And if I can help you live vicariously, I urge you to do so. So best of luck. If you do have some type of question regarding business, reach out. I help a lot of guys, small business owners throughout the year. They shoot me a DM. They are commenting, whatever, just to kind of get into the next phase of their growth. The goal is to just stay interactive, because at the end of the day, relationships and networking is another piece of the puzzle that you'll end up doing to get you to the next level. So best of luck, and we'll see you on the next one.